Hello, welcome to. It's probably our last or second to last season review we're going to be doing, Cal. And a spoiler alert, Cal's here. Cal, how you doing?
I'm okay. I'm okay. Got a little bit of sad news recently. A member of the baseball club we were both at sadly passed away recently. So but lots of thoughts and prayers to Kent's family and stuff. But yeah, been okay. But obviously we got some sad news. So that's a bummer. But we'll carry on. He would have wanted us to keep talking baseball and having a laugh. So we'll carry on in his honor.
Yeah, and this is a nice episode. It's a team that, whilst we don't hate like a certain Los Angeles team, they have been nicknamed in the past the Evil Empire. But we're going to review them because one of our new team members, Alan, is a Yankees fan. So without further ado, all the way from somewhere else in Britain, it's Alan. Welcome to the stage.
What's going on, lads? How's it going? Here to get all the Yankees hate. Bring it on.
I don't think we can quite be bothered, honestly. We've done so many of these season reviews that at this point, let's just talk about the Yankees. Let's get it over with, man.
Very diplomatic of you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, that's because Cal made me do the Brewers one solo. So I had to talk about one of the Cubs' biggest rivals.
Oh, shit. Castaway style.
Yeah, he was just like, yeah, you've got this one, bro. I'm like, cheers, I appreciate that. So I should make him do the Dodgers, but I don't think we're going to be covering them. But anyway,
might get corrupted somehow. Maybe the footage gets lost. I don't know. I'll do it, but you might not receive it. I don't know.
Wouldn't be the first time. Anyway, we're here to talk about the New York Yankees. Alan has come in his Yankees jersey, the famous NY logo, famous pinstripes with a nice bad arm logo on that as well. But before we get into it, it's tradition. We need to give you a couple of hot takes. So this segment is called Booze Hot Takes. Alan, I'm assuming you've had Nando's before in your life.
I have had Nando's, of course.
What's your go-to spice?
My go-to spice. I'm a mix, man. I really love spice, but I also love the lemon and herb. So I'll either go like extra hot or lemon and herb. So like either end of the spectrum.
You're just doing lemon and herb for the taste. Not many people do that. They just more try and work their way up the ladder.
Yeah, no, I'm into it, man. I like a little polarizing fucking spices in my life,
Nothing but respect for that. So this segment's called Boo's Hot Takes. Boo didn't make them. I did. She's back. She's almost back off annual leave. This has been the longest holiday ever. She'll be back in time for the regular season. She's still going to take spring training off, but she's lazy. She's a greyhound, and I love her. So we're going to use the Nando's Spice Scale to rank the hot takes. Alan, if you agree with the take, it's mild, basic, not even worth getting the chicken out the oven for. If you disagree, all the way up to extra hot. And if you think it's outrageous, you can go off the scale. You can go for Perry Tamer because traditionally, or I'm a Nando's enthusiast, back in the day, that was a secret menu item. Okay. Or an item on the secret menu. So you have to ask specifically, it wasn't on the menu, you go, can I have Perry Tamer? As we all know now, or if you've had Nando's in the last 3 years, it's like a nice barbecue sweet, kind of just between like medium sort of level. But
so it's medium level spice, but it's the top level ridiculous.
Yeah, because it's off the traditional Nando scale. We're traditionalists on this. Are you ready for your hot takes?
I'm ready. I'm ready for Boo's hot takes.
Lovely. The first hot take is that Aaron Boone needs to get sacked before the Yankees are going to achieve any more success. So they might get to the playoffs, but they're not going to win a pennant anymore with Aaron Boone in charge. Where have you got that on the spice scale?
So they're saying that he needs to get sacked before that can happen.
Yeah, it's like Arsene Wenger for Arsenal. Give the man contract for life.
Yeah, I'm gonna go hot, spicy. I'm gonna go spicy, not completely off the thing, because obviously things need to change within the Yankees. Like I'm not blind; we haven't won anything since 2009. 2009 was 2009.
I mean, you got to the World Series in 24.
I show this. I know, yeah. In what 24? Yeah, we don't like to talk about that. Fucking a clean sweep by the other evil empire. We will not accept that as acceptance for it. But no, I think it's more in the head office and like trusting the kind of the players coming up and not just going for those ex-MVP level guys that is going to really mix things up. Like Boone's energy is just something I absolutely love. Whether or not that's good for the team, it's like something that I think gets the guys pumped up on the bench every time. He's gotten thrown out countless number of times, and you can see him absolutely fighting for them, which is something that you need in New York. Like we all know how intense and can be absolute dicks the New York Yankee fans are. Like they don't hide it, they don't care. They're like wearing it as fucking a pride, badge of pride. So I think having him is a balance for that, and I don't necessarily think that just changing him is going to fix everything that the Yankees need to fix.
Very well articulately put. I can't speak tonight. I'm so sorry. It's been a very long week.
Right, let's go for it.
Cal, where are you on this on the spice scale?
I think it's medium, and it's largely medium because I still am not convinced that the head honcho in the dugout actually has much impact beyond what is happening on the field right now. I think there needs to be some bigger changes other than just Aaron Boone. I think that I think that they should move on. Kind of the sweep in the World Series and keeping your job after, to me, is wild. But I think it's more to do with the makeup of the team, and kind of getting the players in, which, to my knowledge, is not his job. His job is to get the best out of the team that he can every single day. And to be fair, was in a World Series last year, made it deep enough in the playoffs this year. He's doing a decent enough job at that, but maybe it's the quality of the guys that he's being given isn't necessarily good enough. So the tenacity will only get you so far. And I agree. I think he's great for the Yankees. You want someone that's going to be, fighting tooth and nail for the players out there and defending them with the umpires, and then also to the fan base and to the media. It's silly how ejected he is, but it's what the team needs ultimately, and it's what the players need to know that they're being supported. They're $1 million crybabies at the end of the day. They need to know that the guy in charge is looking after them, and so they can continue playing for him. So, while I think that maybe the Yankees I don't know who they should get, but I do think that something needs to change in order for the Yankees to take that final step into, actually winning something.
It's an interesting point. Yankees, I am available if you want.
Yeah, I'll fucking do it. I'll do it for so much cheaper than whoever you're paying now.
Whatever you're paying Boone, halve it. Halve it again and halve it some more.
Half that as well, and I'll consider it.
Probably be about $150,000 a year. Perfect. So we're gonna go from one manager to probably the most polarizing player on the Yankees in 2025. That being Anthony Volpe, the shortstop. So Alan, the hot take I've got for you is that Anthony Volpe is the worst shortstop in the league.
Ooh. Again, I'm gonna go mid on that. I'm gonna go spicy hot take. Like I'm not blind. He has had a terrible season. Like we found out at the end of the year, it actually was like part of it down to an injury. So maybe he was just pushing through, and he's going to be out for what do they say? Maybe like 10 weeks at the start of the season, or maybe even half, whatever it is, of the first half of the season. I definitely wouldn't say he's the worst. Like he did have his bad days, but I think he was still hitting like 19 home runs. He's still good at was getting good in the bases. I think it was mainly he was getting those jitters around the defensive side, which really let him down. But I think, I don't know. I think the biggest problem that any Yankee shortstop is always going to have from now on is they're always going to be compared to Jeter. And it's like Jeter's now in the outfield, so that's being filled in that position. But everyone's always going to be like, "Oh, he's not Jeter. He's not Jeter. He's not Jeter." So I feel bad for the kid, but I mean, it's professional sport. It's you need to be able to step up to that, and you need to be able to play at a level, especially what's expected of the Yankees. So I think there needs to be some of the guys. I think it could be really interesting this first half of the season because we're going to be able to test out a few guys, see who's good in there, and see what happens. But I definitely don't think the worst.
That's fair. I mean, this is the same guy that struck out on a ball that Emmanuel Clase threw into the dirt when he was trying to get money for the gambling rings. So that's the level of hitting we had yesterday. But as you said, 19 home runs, 72 RBIs. His batting average was 212, which just on an eyesight was worse than everyone except for Ryan McMahon on the team. But that's fair. As you said, he's young. He can come back. I don't think it's the and if there is an injury involved, maybe he'll be better next year. Cal, a slightly different hot take for you. Do you think you could throw the ball better to first base than Anthony Volpe did last year? Yes or no?
Egotistically, yes. Realistically, no chance. What the fuck are you talking about? He's a Major League Baseball player. Interestingly, though, Anthony Volpe had the 4th most errors in baseball last year. And number 1 was Ellie De La Cruz.
That's what I was thinking of. The guy can throw like 105 from shortstop, but he was lots of errors made there.
Yeah, no, I don't think Volpe is the worst, but he's by no means even near the middle. I don't think. It's the bottom.
I'm a Yankees fan, so I'm going to be delusional, but I'm not that delusional. Like I know something needs to change.
He's all right. He'll be okay. He'd be perfectly serviceable. It's just that there was a lot of excitement about him for some reason. I can't remember why. I don't particularly care why.
He was the kid. It was like the captain and the kid was the time. It was like Judge just got made the captain as he was coming up. So it felt like this moment in time where it was like, okay, this could be the new Yankees that's going to come together and it's going to be a new dynasty. And it hasn't quite met up to that. Hasn't met up to that at all. So
disappointing child is a good nickname for him. I hope that's
I'll stand up for him.
Speaking of disappointing children, sorry, Mum, I'm still on the podcast. Nice segue there. That's the end of Boo's hot takes. A little bit of self-deprecating humour there never goes amiss. As we said about Ellie De La Cruz previously, he is a 5-tool player. He just chooses to only use 2 of them at any one given time.
Shots fired. Love it.
Those were Boo's hot takes. Alan, fantastic. We're going to crack on with the season review if that's good for you.
Sounds good to me. Let's go.
Perfect. So I'll go through all the boring statistics now. The Yankees finished second in the AL East last year with a record of 94 wins and 68 losses. Same record as the Toronto Blue Jays, but the Blue Jays had the better head-to-head record. The reward for the Yankees getting the top wildcard seed was a matchup against the Boston Red Sox in the Wildcard Round, which they went and won 2-1, I believe. I think the game 3 was like Cam Schittler versus Connolly Early, which was a really fun matchup to watch.
Yes.
That was really, really fun. The Yankees then came up against, I want to say it was the Blue Jays in a divisional series, and they lost. I want to say they lost 3-1. I don't have that in front of me.
I don't think so. I think it was a bit closer.
I think it was 3-2.
Oh, 3-2. Well,
I think. I can double check. You keep going. I'll check.
Yeah. So anyway, they lost to the Blue Jays, and obviously the Blue Jays had a fantastic team last year, so there's nothing to be ashamed about. Really, it's the equivalent of losing to the Dodgers on the National League side. I guess, Alan, the first question: if you could describe the Yankees season in one word, what would it be, and why? And you can use hyphens if you want to put a couple of words together.
It would be, of course. Of course, seems to be the way it's going at the moment. It's like we get super excited. We're like, okay, it's going to come back. We're going back to 96. We're getting all excited. We got new players in, and it seems to go. It's like up at the start, it seems to go well, and it's just like post the All-Star break, then it kind of falls apart at some point, and then the postseason comes along and nobody's showing up in the postseason. It's like here bits in there, but it kind of falls apart. So annoyingly, it's become, of course, at the moment. Don't get me wrong, there are loads of amazing highlights that I cannot wait to talk about, but that's the kind of feeling at the moment.
Yeah, I think that's fair because the Yankees are, historically one of the most storied franchises in all of baseball. And you kind of always expect them to minimum be in the playoffs. And I think at a minimum, get into the divisional series is probably what you'd expect as a Yankees fan. We now normally talk about the hitters and the pitchers. I'd normally ask you which order you want to do them in, but I think there's only one place we can start, and that is the AL MVP in Aaron Judge. He finished the season with 53 home runs, 114 RBIs, a batting average of 331, an on-base percentage of 457, and missed a little bit of time due to injury. AL MVP, in your opinion, Alan, was he the deserving MVP in the American League?
I think absolutely. Like
Okay.
I think there was only one month where his OPS dropped under 1. Like he was just absolutely performing, and especially from, I think the season before, he was maybe his strikeout rate was a little higher, and he wasn't getting these kind of base hits or doubles to complement the home runs that he was getting, because obviously he was going for the record, but he showed up at every point this season, and especially in the postseason. Because every season before, I don't know whether it's nerves or whether it's the pressure or it's the just fatigue getting to the end of the season, he'd get to that postseason and he wasn't able to hit the home runs. He wasn't able to get on base. The pitchers are obviously at a higher standard there, so they just know where getting these placements for him. But this season, he showed up and he was there for the team the entire time. I think absolutely well deserved.
Yeah, I think I'm more of the opinion that Cal Raleigh was probably the MVP purely from a defensive standpoint. I think if you're managing a pitching staff, but he plays for the Mariners, and we're not going to talk about that today. Alan will be with us a lot more than just on this episode, so we will 100% get into this one before the season.
But that's the a debate that I had. I remember it was a show that I watched called a podcast I listened to called The Rewatchables, and it's the Ringer. Part of the Ringer network. Obviously, those guys are mad into their sports and everything, but they talk about it's like how do you feel about a non-winning team getting an MVP?
Oh, me personally, I think it's fine. I think if that player has deserved the MVP, that's completely fine.
I'm on the same as well. I think there's some people out there who are like, no, it's like they didn't bring their team to a win that season. Well, like what should it be? But if a player can, I don't know, perform on the field, and I think as well, like the MVP isn't just like the stats and thing. It's that kind of leadership in the clubhouse as well, and I think he's just exudes leadership as well.
I think for a lot of people as well, though, it's similar to soccer as well, right? With like Ronaldo and Messi just winning the Ballon d'Or every year. It's like every year it's going to be Judge and it's going to be Ohtani. We get it. Like those guys are great. It's just Cal Raleigh was, I think, just as good. So for one fucking year, can we not give it a break and give it to the other guy who's been just as good? But ultimately, yeah, it's hard to argue that Judge didn't deserve it. It just would have been really nice as a baseball fan to see someone else win it,
I think he's got the Yankees against him though as well for every other team. Because I think if he was that good and he wasn't playing for the Yankees, people would be like, "Yes, fucking give it to him." Yeah, the same with Ohtani as well. When Ohtani was with the Angels, people would be like, "Fuck yeah!" But I think now people are gonna be like, "Oh yeah, of course."
When he was likable and didn't have his best friend put in jail for him, yeah, no, I remember liking Ohtani. It was a fun 3 minutes.
Okay, we can we'll talk about Ohtani again on another podcast. Stay tuned. So we've spoken about Aaron Judge, great season. He wasn't alone. I don't know if in part it was because of the short porch at Yankee Stadium. Probably was. But your outfield last year was fantastic offensively. You had Aaron Judge in right, and then you had Trent Grisham, who was second in home runs. Who saw that coming? I didn't. 34 home runs. And Cody Bellinger playing in left field with 29 home runs. And the only one of those three, I believe, I know Judge is right-handed. I believe Cody Bellinger is the only lefty. I'm not sure if Grisham is left. Is
Grisham's is Grisham already lefty? I always forget this now.
Oh no, Grisham's a lefty as well. So that might.
Grisham's a lefty. Yeah.
So that might explain it with the short porch in right field a little bit more.
Yeah.
But offensively across the board, Jazz Chisholm 31 home runs, Ben Bryce 26, Giancarlo Stanton 24 in about 2 games. This is just obscene power. And I know you play half your games at Yankee Stadium, but you've got to play 81 games elsewhere. Would you say the offense was a real highlight for the Yankees this year?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it feels quite reminiscent of, okay, how do I put this? It's absolutely a highlight because the defensive, there was times where it was falling to pieces, and even on the offensive side, like the base running was atrocious at times. So having that to hold on to is great, but it kind of feels reminiscent of like early Michael Jordan when he was at the Bulls, and he was the one he was like getting fucking 60 points a game, but they were still losing and not even getting to the playoffs. It's like that one thing's not gonna to get us up there, and just being the Bronx Bombers isn't going to get us past. So it's like, it's great to see, but it needs to be, the rest of the team needs to be sharpened up, and those holes need to be plugged up for sure. But I mean, seeing especially the young guys, seeing Trent Grisham come up, Ben Rice as well, like he's just turning in. He feels like a mini Stanton. He's just this stacked dude who's gonna like, but can also be on first base and be behind the dish as well. But I'd be so interested to see how these guys go.
Yeah, and you say about holes that needed to be plugged. I think if we're going to talk about the biggest hole that needed to be plugged last year, it was your second half bullpen. So you guys went and acquired, it seemed like every closer available. You got Camilo Doval from the Giants. You got, I'm trying to think, David Bednar from the Pirates. You went and got Jake Bird from the Rockies. You had Devin Williams from the Brewers for the whole year. Luke Weaver was returning. He had a good year in 24. And then I think it's safe to say it all went to shit with the numbers I'm looking at, just with who you would have expected to be those guys. Who would you say I'm maybe overreacting a little bit there, or would you say the bullpen was the biggest issue?
No, definitely bullpen was biggest issue. It's frustrating because you can see obviously like 2-3 years ago, it was the outfield was an absolute mess and they didn't have anyone to put there, and they've like focused all their energy on that, and that's the thing. And then now the bullpen's fallen down, but it's a lot of injuries as well. So it's like talking about the guys that you had there, it was just weird. This kind of like, there doesn't seem to be a kind of community in there. This kind of like bonding where you had like Devin Williams and Weaver were like butting heads for a while, where they're competing for that closer spot, which can be incredibly productive and can like push guys against each other. But it ended up just feeling a bit petty. I don't know if that was just me or if that was you, but it felt weird. And maybe created a bit of a tension in the bullpen. But yeah, like you said, they've like, I think that is definitely their biggest hole, and it's something that I hope they can bring up. They have some amazing guys coming through in the minors at the moment that could potentially be amazing for that. But whether the Yankees always seem to hold off on their minor leaguers and either have them as bargaining chips for trading or just don't really give them the chance.
Yeah, but I think that's fair. I think the Yankees, I feel that they're a good team when they know that they've got a special player. They don't bring up someone for the sake of it. Like the Marlins are going to bring up 20 players next year because they're going to trade half of them. Or they're going to trade away their good players and get another 20 prospects. The Yankees, to me, seem like a team that if they feel like that player is ready, then they can hit the big leagues, and they normally hit the ground running. And no one did that better than Cam Schlittler, in my opinion. I mentioned it earlier, that playoff game where he faced off against Connolly Early, who's a young starter for the Red Sox. Probably for me, outside of the World Series or any games that the Cubs played in and won, the best game of the playoffs. It was just watching two young dogs going at it. And I think the Red Sox outfield did let Connolly Early down a little bit in that game. But Cam Schlittler, brilliant. And even in the regular season, 14 starts, 2.96 ERA. Is he the future ace for the Yankees?
That's a tough one because they always have such big guys coming in. Like having, if all our guys were healthy, like realistically, he'd possibly be like the 6th starting pitcher. Which is absolutely insane to have that. But obviously there's a lot of injuries, so that's going in. But that was my highlight of the season, I think, as well. that game was incredible. I actually rewatched it the other day. It was just having like, I think the Red Sox pitcher was out after I think the third inning or something. He just kind of fell apart, and Schlittler as well. He was up to 100, I think around 97, 98 pitches, and came back in for that last inning and ended up getting that the was it 12th, 11th or 12th strikeout. Like he just showed up ice cold fucking veins. He was not phased. As well, I think the thing that made that so amazing was since the wild card had been brought in, anybody who'd lost the first game of that series always had lost. So that was the first time any team had come back and got it. So having Schlittler step up in that moment was a future ace of a team. If it's the Yankees, hopefully, if it goes right through, but I can say definitely he's going to be an ace somewhere.
Yeah, and you sort of mentioned about the other names. Obviously, you've got Garrett Cole, who's been injured for a Tommy John. He'll be back hopefully this year.
Yeah, really, it's going to be next year though. Like he's going to just be kind of in-game rehab for the next half of the season.
Yeah, I seem to remember he opted out of a contract. I think it was last year. This is before he got injured. He opted out of his contract and then just signed back with the Yankees again. He retracted saying, "I'm not actually opting out. I'm staying," because he couldn't get a better deal. I bet he would have been foolish to leave at this point. But you've got some other names in there. You've got the two-headed dragon. You've got Carlos Rodon and Max Fried at the top of the rotation. You've got the young guys with Luis Gil and Clark Schmidt. I think the future's bright for the Yankees on the starter side. And it's interesting, as you said, Cam Schlittler, in my opinion, I think he's better than I think he's maybe better than a Clark Schmidt if he can do it for a season. But your rotation upcoming could be very, very filthy.
Absolutely, yeah. I think we need to see. It's like, again, that Cam Schlittler thing. We have the tendency to get overexcited and be like, okay, this is the guy, he's going to be amazing, and then he may have a shit start to the year and we're like, oh, of course, no, he's gone, whatever. So I want to give him another season, see how it pans out, and then can properly put my hopes in him.
Yeah, I mean, we'll circle back in 2 months, I'm sure. Cal, before we hit halftime, quick question for you. Camilo Doval with his horses or Ozzy Albies with his fish? Which one is more genuine and which one warms your heart a little bit more?
I don't know. I think that you got to be doing something a little bit mean to the horses to get them to move in the way they do. So I'm going to go with the fish. They seem happier, I think, than the horses.
That must have been tough because Camilo Doval is obviously, the famous San Francisco Giants closer before he became one of the 16 additions for the Yankees bullpen. We're going to hit halftime. When we're back, Cal's going to take us and Alan, well, mainly Alan and you guys listening at home, through what we have to look forward to in 2026. We'll catch you in a sec.
Hello and welcome back. It's been probably just about as long for us as it has for you. We're powering through it today. We're gonna look a little bit more ahead to next year and things to be excited about. This is going to be a little bit different though because we're rapidly approaching spring training. I think the first game of the season's as we're recording this 49 days away. So we're getting close. We're getting excited. So there's a little bit less of who do you want to see, some of the trades, some of the free agents, things like this. Although there's still quite a lot of big names around. But we're gonna look forward to what 2026 kind of has to offer. Talk to me about Ben Rice in 2026, because he's somebody I'm very, very keen on. I watched his first game against the Red Sox, I think it was a couple years ago, and he hit
just with the 3-homer one. It was 3 or 4 homers.
I think it was 3. It was back to back to back, and then there was a 4th later on. It was electric. It was the coolest thing I'd ever seen. Me and my friends were doing a 9-9-9 challenge, and I was hallucinating hot dogs, and it was like, this guy's already hit 3 home runs. He didn't do it again. I think something's in these sausages.
My favorite part about that was when they were like, everyone at the bench was like, do your curtain call, and he didn't even know where the stairs were, and he was just like, what's going on? I'm just like, oh my god, he just loves this game. He's just here to play it. He's so fucking chill.
What do you think the the kind of, role he plays in the team. Do you think he stays as kind of backup catcher and backup first and DHing, or where do you see Ben Rice slotting into the team next year?
I think he's filling that hole as backup catcher now for sure. I think like first base could be a really good place for him. I had noticed Goldschmidt had been like spending a lot of time with him, and he'd almost been mentoring him. So, and obviously Goldschmidt is an MVP level player. So if he can pass on that wisdom and be that veteran that's literally on his way out, because he only must have a few more years left, but all that experience and being able to pass it on to Ben Rice, he could be dangerous at first base. I think being that powerful of a hitter and just it seems like just a presence in the clubhouse as well. He's just seems so just genuinely happy to be there, and just like always has smiling fucking ear to ear, and that's what you want with the guys that you're playing with. Like you obviously want the guys who like rally up and do whatever. We just want people like between him and oh god, I'm blanking here. In the outfield, Cody Bellinger, just like him, just being an absolute stoner in the outfield. They're just all fucking happy to be there, man. It's great.
I hear that. Well, speaking of Cody Bellinger, how important do you think that it was that the Yankees did manage to re-sign him?
I think it was important. I think he was really able to show up kind of across the board. I mean, he was like fifth in home runs. He had a great batting average. He like the thing that kind of stuck with me was the game they were playing against. I think it was the Nationals or something, and he kind of it had someone on second who ran through third base on a quite a short outfield play, and he just hesitated and didn't think he was going to go for it, and absolutely they missed, and they ended up scoring on them. And then it was like 2 innings later, and he got the same play out to him, and he's just like absolute laser of a cannon down straight to Wells, and just like he beat the runner by maybe 4 or 5 steps. It was like electric to see. So he has that mindset of just being able to show up, being able to see where he's wrong, see and make corrections that quickly. Like that is something that only those top level athletes have. I think there's like his contract seems a bit insane. Like he's come out so on top there, where he has like, it seems like he almost has complete control over it. And he's like got the non-trade clause, and he's able to opt out after 3 and 4 years, I think, or 2 and 3 years. And it's yeah, we'll see how it goes, whether he's going to live up to that value, but I think he has it, man. He's great.
I know it seemed like very quickly through the off season, because Kyle Tucker was kind of the big name, but it seemed like, just quite quickly, people were not quite willing to pay the price that Kyle Tucker was asking for. And so Cody Bellinger very quickly became the number one kind of outfield free agent. And yeah, I think it is important for the Yankees to keep hold of such an important player for the team offensively and defensively. I think he's a pretty good outfielder as well. Yeah. And kind of keeping that veteran presence for younger guys like Ben Rice and, still Anthony Volpe to kind of look up to and have a little bit more leadership beyond Judge and Stanton. So yeah,
I think it gives them the safety as well, because it was obviously outfield was such a big problem for us 2 years ago, even a bit last year, that like we had Stanton in the outfield at times. We were so short in people, and the Martian as well. Like he's struggling on the defense out there. So having him in combination with Spencer Jones, who's obviously coming up through she's in AAA and has been AAA for a while now and is absolutely smashing it. Having that kind of safety net now, I just think allows them to then readdress the infield and the bullpen. Obviously, the bullpen's a bigger priority, but like being able to actually address them now that that's all safe.
It's interesting that you bring up the infield there needing addressing, because if I was to try and sign a free agent or make any trades, I would probably be looking at the infield. Is that where you would kind of next turn your attention to in terms of strengthening the Yankees?
I don't think so. With defensively with McMahon there, he's absolute monster at third. He's like eating up everything, absolute killer. I think it was in that Schlittler game where he's just like ended up having one of those foul ball catches, tumbling into the opposition's dugout. Like, he's going to sacrifice his body and make those plays. And Jazz Chisholm as well. He's just got such confidence at second. If we can get Ben Rice up a little bit in his defense at first, I think it's like shortstop's obviously the major hole at the moment. Anthony Volpe having so many errors, and that's where most of the balls are going to go. So see how we do, because obviously you got some of the younger guys coming up through there that could potentially fill that gap and see what's going on. But I don't know. It all kind of rests on Volpe, whereas I think the bullpen there's just a lot more obvious holes there. There's a lot more guys who are not really fitting the slots that they need to.
Okay, so if you could make one more move, free agent or trade, you could bring one guy in, who would be kind of top of your wish list for the Yankees?
For an infield or thing, or across the board?
Wherever. New owner, if you really want, trade them.
That would be a great idea. Well, I was thinking, what if we need to go back? The thing that kind of kicked off the dynasty in '96 was when what was the boss's name? George Steinbrenner? Is George? Yeah, George Steinbrenner. He was trying to get dirt in one of the players and then got banned from. He was almost banned for life from owning, and then got reduced to 1.5 years, 2 years. And in that time, that's when the management team could come up and really work those younger guys, and not to be so much focused on the big dogs, and develop that team up. That then when the Steinbrenner came back in, he brought in some of the bigger guys to complement that, rather than it being the biggest weight. So could it be maybe ownership? Let's get someone else in, or let's just get them caught up in some some scandal.
That's fine. I'm sure there's some guys on the Guardians that can help him out with stuff like that. So okay. Imagine that the following statement is true, because it is. I don't know anything about baseball. I'm getting into baseball for the first time this year, and I'm looking over and I'm saying, the Yankees, that's that brand, the hat that everyone wears with all the different colors except for the team color. I know them. I recognize them. Maybe I'll buy a jersey. I'm going to watch some games because they're on at watchable times in the UK. Why is it that I should be following the Yankees this year in particular?
I think this one's hard because I don't know anything about baseball as well, so we're absolutely screwed. No, why should I be following the Yankees? I'm excited about the kids. Like I said earlier, I'm excited about Ben Rice, and Spencer Jones coming up. Like you said, some of the pitchers that are potentially coming up through the system. I think that there's a really interesting layer of talent coming up, which is exciting. I think I suppose that's more for people who are into it. Let me rethink that. So if it's someone who's just coming in, I think I think the chaos.
Yeah.
Let's go for the chaos. You got like Aaron Boone coming out, getting thrown out every third game, like showing so much passion. You got the crazy people in the stands. You got, it's like one of the most, it's like incredible stadium. It's one stadium that I've been to over in America, and it is such a rich history. Like there is so much from literally the one everyone knows, from like Babe Ruth and everyone on Murderer's Row to like Yogi Berra to all the way up through until now. There's like a crazy history and interesting side of the Yankees that it's really amazing to dive into.
I hear that. So there's a lot you can kind of learn about the Yankees. So if you're more of a history guy, then the Yankees are definitely an interesting team for you.
Wow.
They've got arguably the best player in the sport at the moment. Arguably, I'd say probably second best, because he doesn't do the pitching thing that the other guy does. But
I think as well. Sorry, go on.
Just they're an exciting team. They've got a lot of history. The fans are very much engaged. It's and they'll be in the playoffs. It's up to them whether they choose to be in it or not, really.
Yeah. And I think one thing that's kind of overlooked as well by new people coming into baseball is the stadiums as well, is that Yankees is like, it's in the Bronx. It's in the middle of the city. There's not, you go to some sports stadiums over in America and it's just out in the middle of nowhere, massive like car park and just the stadium, and that's really it. Where this is in the thick of it, and like really, it's kind of like Fenway, like some of the other places. It's right there.
No, it's cool. I've also been, and it is an impressive place to go watch a game of sports. So right before we wrap up and play a game of Start Bench Cut, can I trouble you for a win total for the year? And we'll try keep track of it and see how you do at the end of the season.
Ooh, win total. I've forgotten what they were at. 90 what? Was it 90?
94.
94. I'm gonna go 92.
Okay.
Because they haven't made any big moves really. I think a lot of their big moves are going to come in at the trade deadline, and the starting pitching, because we've lost. Obviously, we don't have our ace. We don't have Cole, and what's his name is going to be out for the start of the season as well. Carlos Rodon is going to be out for the start of the season. I think it'll be hard to get thing. I hope they'll be better, but I think just the bullpen's gonna cause problems unless they plug that up. I think it's going to be a tough start.
I hear that. I think the rest of the division's gotten better as well. I mean, even the Rays can trouble anybody on any given day. I think it's the most competitive division. So it'll be very interesting. Pete Alonso at the Orioles, which I'm very excited about. I think that's going to be a lot of fun.
They needed the help though. They had a shit season last season.
Fucking awful. But Pete Alonso's great. So hopefully he can bring some smiles down to Baltimore. But thank you very much for that. That was wonderful. I'm excited. Right. I feel like I know more about the Yankees than I did 44 minutes and 10 seconds ago. Shall we play a game?
Let's bring it on. It sounds like Saw, but that's as long as I don't get tied up somewhere. It's great.
No, only consensually. So the first Start Bench Cut is going to be baseball themed, as it always is. And again, if you haven't figured out the rules of Start Bench Cut by now, fucking talk to someone. So it's baseball related, but it's not in a sense. So we're talking about stadium features that aren't necessarily part of, like, you know, like you've got the short porch in right, and the Giants have got like Levi's Landing and stuff. More so just extra fun things that make your match day experience a little bit more exciting. So your start bench cut options are the hotel in center field at the Rogers Center for the Blue Jays.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to pretend like the stadium's still kind of with us, but the petting zoo out in outfield for the Tampa Bay Rays. And then the big old restaurant that the Atlanta Braves have over there in right field as well.
Oh, the Chop House. Start bench cut. I think we will have. So it's the restaurant, it's the hotel, and it's the thing. I think we're gonna start the. Yeah, we're gonna start the Toronto, because it just seems that would just be so amazing to have, and you get those amazing interactions where you see the players like throwing balls up to the windows of people. I think we're gonna bench the Chop House, because I mean, who doesn't love food at a game? Just getting some great food, sitting down, watching some baseball. I'm not going to say no. And let's do cut to the petting zoo, because that's kind of insane, and we're not into animal cruelty.
I don't know what the Yankees petting zoo would be. Would it just be like guys?
Would it just be guy? It would be people from Brooklyn. It would be Mets fans.
Right. Gaz, have you got an answer?
Yeah, I'm a big fan of steak, so I'm going to start the Chop House for the Braves. I'm going to bench the hotel. I think there is some stuff that you know, if I open the window or the curtain and I'm just there, you know, waking first up in the morning, but I've got my time zones wrong, and I wake up and there's 30,000 people just staring at me in my pajamas, I'm going to be like, yeah, probably not the place for me. But I think it's fun. And I'm good for the same reasons. I'm going to cut the petting zoo. I don't think you should be able to pet rays. It feels a bit
manta rays, yeah.
Yeah, I don't feel like you should be able to pet fish or aquatic animals.
You can't anyway, because they're like jelly, right? So you put your hand on it and then it just like goes around your hand.
Yeah, it's like, would I want one of the rays petting me? Probably not. If it was goats, if we're talking about like the Hartford Yard goats, different story. But no, for the fact it's the rays, I'm going to have to cut the petting zoo, because I don't think you should be able to pet a manta ray.
Other teams could have really interesting petting zoos, like the Diamondbacks. You'll have like a little snake enclosure bit. That would be cool.
My God.
And like the Cardinal, like you like have
Cardinals.
birds and stuff, and then the Giants would be fucking crazy. Anyway, your next start bench cut. So just before, you were telling me about your upcoming holiday plans for some winter sun. So we're gonna start bench cut just types of holiday. So it's a beach holiday, a city break, and then a camping or road trip kind of holiday.
Oh, I think it depends on the time of year and depends where it is, but I'm going to go for what I want right now. So we're middle of winter. It's cold. It's dark. We're in London. It feels like a Dickens fucking book. Everyone's miserable. We're going to go start beach holiday, get some sun in, get rid of that, get some vitamin fucking D on the skin, get rid of that depression, man, and bench the city holiday, because although I love a city holiday, it's great, you know, like we were talking about it before, somewhere like Barcelona is incredible. Well, probably not like at the moment while people are spraying in the face with water guns, but places like that can be amazing. Copenhagen, especially around the breadth of places we have in Europe, is just insane. And then cut a camping holiday, because it feels like work. It feels like effort at the moment. I'm like, I want to relax. I want to be warm on the beach. I want a concierge. I don't want to have to piss in a fucking bush somewhere.
I hear that. Gaz, do you agree? Or are you pissing in bushes for fun?
I'm shitting in bushes for fun. Pissing me too.
Just out in your back garden. Fuck it.
Yeah, pretty much. Is that the dog? Oh yeah. Poor Boo. She's left me, unsurprisingly. She was right behind. Sorry, she was right beside me, just to let the people know that, because I know there's a few Boo followers on this podcast. I don't care about what we have to say, but it's like buzzword Boo. Oh yeah, I'm interested. With the camping one, I'm not camping, but I would do a road trip if I can stay in hotels. But I'll go with the spirit of the game. I'm going to start the city break. I just think I like exploring cities. If you haven't noticed by now, I am ginger, so I do burn. So I'd much rather be, the option of going inside and visiting places than melting on a beach. I'm going to bench the beach, and I'm going to cut the camping trip just because I don't like camping. But again, if you told me you're going to go on a 2-week road trip and you're going to drive to 5 or 6 different places, but you get to stay in motels, hotels, Airbnbs, etc., I'm all for that. That's probably my favorite one. Cal, what about you?
Oh shit! You've caught me off guard. I'm gonna cut the beach holiday. I gotta do stuff, man. I get real agitated real quick when I'm kind of stuck. I'll bench the city break and I'll start the camping trip. It's me and my friends started up a tradition where we go camping every year. We drive down to Cornwall, we camp and we surf for a few days, and it's quite comfortably the highlight of my year every year. So I'm starting that one.
Nice.
That's a lovely way to end this episode on, Cal. It's really nice, really heartwarming.
Very wholesome.
Someone say something offensive to a company quick.
I'm not going to say anything offensive to them, but I believe Alan has a company that I think it's only right we give him the opportunity to plug. So, Alan, over to you.
Oh yeah. So for people who don't know, I have a baseball streetwear brand that I started a year and a half ago called Bad Arm. I'm wearing, for anybody on YouTube and looking at the video, we got one of the ones from the new collection here. We got a bit of Spike Lee going on some vintage jerseys, repping the catchers. Well, I am one of. It's a Yogi Berra jersey. But yeah, we're releasing a new collection at the end of this month, end of February. It's just an amazing intersection of subculture and baseball. So if you're, check us out everywhere at Bad Arm Baseball and let us know what you think.
And as we mentioned before, Alan's joined us as a regular host on the podcast now. We've got Alan, Josh, and George. If you didn't see our previous episode, go and watch it. It's a great episode. You watched me steal loads of points and quizzes from everyone.
Which I got screwed on, Cal. I got screwed on.
It's not up to me. All I did was make the rules and decide on how the points were scored. I don't understand how I could be held accountable for that. I also picked the questions. What more do you expect from me?
For those of you who didn't see, it was a question asked about home run people, or people who scored home runs over 20 seasons, which there was 2 of the answers were right, and I didn't get my point. So I want to be into proper third place rather than joint.
I'll tell you what, you can have it because you were tied for third. So there you go. You can have another point, and then George can come last.
Sorry, out of joint last. I'll take that.
I was going to say they're fighting for third place. Yeah. Anyway, Alan, you've been fantastic. Thanks so much for joining us for this season review. All that's left to say is I've been Gaz, I never really need to change that on the fucking StreamYard software. Cal's been Cal, Alan's been Alan, and he has no bad arms as far as we're aware. You've been fantastic, and we'll catch you on the next episode of A Brit Does Baseball Does podcast. Thank you and goodbye.